Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I wanted to share a quick unboxing and first look at the Samsung Galaxy Tab S6 Bookcover Keyboard. Now, of course, the Tab S6 is the best Android tablet on the market right now. In fact, it really has no other competition. 10.5-inch Super AMOLED display, Snapdragon 855, 6 or 8 gigs of RAM, depending on which model you go with, and of course 128 and 256 gigs of internal storage respectively. Now, for $180, this is an incredibly expensive keyboard cover. In fact, it's more expensive than any, I think, that we've ever seen. So it has a lot to live up to. The most important feature, besides giving you a keyboard and actual touchpad, I mean, is that it actually gives you a place to store the pen, which is pretty important because, as you can see right now, the pen is charging. But it's on the back, it's magnetic, it can fall off. That's where this, besides turning this into more of a productivity machine, comes in. And of course, it acts as a kickstand. You can buy the regular book cover, which does not have a keyboard, but if you're going to spend the money, this is the one to go for, especially since Samsung is promoting this and giving you a less expensive entry point. Now, it appears this is already open, and I've never opened it, so that's weird to begin with. So let's get right into it. I know this was designed this way, but I didn't actually open it. And this was all direct from Samsung. And I have high hopes for it, but I've seen mixed things online. So let's hope that the hopes are, fulfilled rather than the opposite. So there is the keyboard itself. There is your touchpad, pointing device, which was absent. This is something we did not have in previous generations. Pogo port connector right there. And again, this is in two pieces, so I can go ahead and connect that right there. Pretty solid magnetic connection. There, the Tab S6 has turned into a laptop, if you will. But especially considering, Microsoft launching the Surface Pro X, which is a Snapdragon-based device. Granted, it will run Windows. And then you also have Samsung making their own Galaxy Book S. That's where I felt all of a sudden this thing becomes pretty important, pretty competent, and that's why I was so interested in it. No other reason. So this is the back magnet, I believe, that is going to actually stick to the tablet itself. I know I didn't take the plastic off. Let's go ahead and see how that works. And still has a cutout for the cameras. Pen pops in, and we have it. So it looks like fit and finish wise, pretty good. I mean, it fits. No question about that. The pen is concealed, and the cameras are not obscured. But see what just happened right there? This is part of what I'm worried about. This magnet is on, but how tight it is another story. And then let's just see the kickstand, because this is where things have been talked about being an issue, and I see it already. Okay, so the kickstand on its own is a no-go. Let's see how the kickstand works. See, the pen has moved. How the kickstand works once it's actually enabled. And it seems like I'm having problems here. So the kickstand's pretty steady. It's pretty firm. It's well made. I just don't know if the magnets here do enough. So now we're totally attached, completely, so to speak. I'm so used to with the Surface that you have that flip out. This kind of mimics the Surface, kind of, but it's sliding right off. And that's a problem. And I don't know, right there it's working. It's upright, but I can already see what the issue is with this. So it's got a really stiff kickstand, but it starts to separate from the device. So this range of motion, great range of motion, but that's if it actually worked. It seems it only has one position that is actually functional, which is what you're seeing right now. And this permits me to actually use it, in a laptop-esque type form factor, but then flipping it, I'm even a little bit worried. So basically, at least unless I learned something I don't already know, it looks like this thing has a lot of trouble keeping the Tab S6 upright. And if that's the case, this is probably going to go back to Samsung. I had, again, high hopes for it, but if the reality is that it's nowhere near as functional as it should be, no wonder Samsung was selling this at half price on pre-order. And that's how I purchased it. I would never pay $180 for an accessory like this, and that's why I said they are pricing this above and beyond even what Microsoft or Apple could come up with. So it's unfortunate because the Tab S6 is a fantastic tablet, and hopefully, I figure something out about this, but it seems like right now the only position that's usable is the one, the kickstand's in right now, and it's really solid. But anything beyond right there, you can see this keeps pulling off, and so as strong as these magnets are, not enough. That's like about your range of motion, it seems. But I'll follow up on this. I'll show you how it operates and everything. Today is just a first look unboxing. Finally got it in my hands. For some reason, it took incredibly long, when meanwhile it seems like this product might be incredibly hard to sell, if that is a real issue. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them. Hit that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe. Later.